This is Lindsay Mann from cloud9snappers.com, and today I'm going to share with you a fancy fold card that is a book style. This template came to me from Tina Zinck, and I just loved the way that this turned out. This is my version of it. So let's get started. I love a fancy fold card that uses just a standard size card base. So this is just the 8.5 by 5.5, and then we're going to fold it in half. Just get our edges to line up here. And then you're going to fold this in half again. Just like that. So that's going to be our base. I'm going to set that aside for now. Then you have some layering pieces. So the first layering piece is, the Whisper White is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then you are going to be using the Designer Series paper, which is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. So again, you're just going to fold it in half, and this Designer Series paper comes from the Best Dressed suite. And we're going to do the same thing with our Whisper White. And then take your bone folder and just give it a little bit of curl. This is going to help give it that book look when you adhere it down to your card base. I'm going to do the same thing with our DSP. Next, we're going to take our tear and tape and we're going to apply it to the white card stock. Make sure you're not putting it all the way to the ends because this is a slightly smaller piece. So next we're going to remove that adhesive backing and then just throw this in place. So I just kind of look at the top and the bottom and make sure that the seams match up. And then we're going to use glue dots and we're going to add that to our book pages. So I do one in each corner and then do one in the middle on both sides. Okay, so when you're laying it down, I'm trying to give it just a little bit of lift. So that's why we used our bone folder to curl it. So just kind of giving it a little bit of pucker in the cardstock. So again, same thing. So I just kind of use my fingers to line up inside and then do the same thing, just like that. Okay, so then there's another card layer, and that's going to be a Whisper White piece of 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. Again, we're gonna fold that in half. And the DSP layer is 4 3/8 by 3 1/8. And again, we're gonna fold that in half. The nice thing about DSP is you can use whichever side that you like. So I'm actually going to fold it this way because I want to bring the purple out. And now we're going to do the exact same thing. Okay, so now we have our 2 layers of book pages. So we're going to add tear and tape to the back of the smaller piece. And I like to do a line right along each of the seams, just like that. And then we're going to add dimensionals to the pages just like we did before. So now we're going to flip this over and we're going to add it to our larger book pages. And again, just kind of curl these in so that they're not flat. And same over here. So it just gives a little bit of movement like a book would. Okay, so let's go back to our card front. So this time we're going to add a piece of Designer Series paper that is 5 1/8 by 1 7/8. And we're going to adhere that to the top layer. And then we also have a piece that is 5 1/8 by 1 7/8. And you're going to want to pop this up because this is going to be what acts as a stopper for the book pages. So I'm just going to add dimensionals and we're going to layer that onto the other side of our card front. Like that. And then we're also going to add one more layer. So you could even add a greeting to this if you wanted. So we're going to do that. Bump it up again just to make it have a little more height to act as that stopper. We're just going to layer that on here like so. Okay, so next we're going to add our book page, and you want it to layer so that you have a little bit of the designer series paper poking out the top. And what I did was just took my tear and tape, and onto the actual card base, I left a little bit of a gap at the top so that our book could layer there, and then put this piece of tear and tape. And that way we know it's not going to go too far into the card. So now that our adhesive is ready, we can just go ahead and line that up on the top. So now that's going to sit like that. But we're going to want to decorate the front of it. And so I'm just bringing in some of the designer series paper images, and we're going to fussy cut out some of these flowers and leaves to add to the front. Okay, so now that I have these cut out, I'm going to add dimensionals to the back of them, and we're going to add them. Now I've brought in the die from the Stitched So Sweetly collection, and we're going to add a greeting to the front. And I've just pulled Happy Day from the Itty Bitty Birthday collection. So I will grab my black ink and we will add the birthday greeting, or the day greeting, Happy Day, like so. Now we're going to add dimensionals to the back. Dimensionals help to keep the movement of the images because we're not putting it on a flat surface. This is really going to help it to stay on the card. So now I'm just going to tuck this underneath some of my flowers and add that to the front, and there you go. Now before we finish, of course, we gotta add some gems to it. So I'm going to pull in the Noble Peacock rhinestones. And what I love about this is it kind of has a little bit of all the colors we're using, because this is a very colorful designer series paper. So we're going to add some green and some pink. And come on. And some purple. There we go. Isn't that pretty? There you have it. A book card. Thanks, Tina, for the great layout. I love it. And enjoy. I can't wait to see what you make. Have fun.